Let's step into our DeLorean. It is 2015 after all, the year of Back to the Future 2. And let's imagine that our proverbial pool is occupied by Chris Christie, Jeb Bush, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and Rick Santorum. Now here comes the former governor of Arkansas, cannonballs and all. Mark, of all those guys swimming around in that lake over there, who is afraid most of Mike Huckabee?
The one I think needs to be worried is Rick Perry, because he's going to be unemployed, basically like Huckabee. They all have other stuff to do. But Rand Paul and Ted Cruz, because they're in the Senate, cannot camp out there. Yeah. And I think Perry, who's been there as much as anybody else, has to worry that Huckabee can come in and really out-organize them. The other thing is, Huckabee, because he is a pastor, has relationships of long standing with a lot of these religious conservatives. And I think Santorum and Cruz have to worry that they cannot dominate with that group in Iowa and around the country in the way they had hoped.
Man, I think Rick Santorum, with Mike Huckabee in the field, Rick Santorum is a hard go. I don't know if he's going to run or not, but boy, we've seen him in our Bloomberg Politics Des Moines Register polling. We've been surprised by how badly Santorum has done in a state that he won in 2012. I think Huckabee sucks up. He's so much better natural politician. All the things Rick Santorum we find amazing about him, all the Senate talk and how he can bore you to tears, that's not Mike Huckabee's problem. I think Ted Cruz also has that problem because Cruz has come across, he's made a lot of enemies. So one thing about Mike Huckabee, hasn't made a lot of enemies and comes across as folksy and friendly.
He's a likable guy. And I tweeted over the weekend, if you've never been to a book signing with Huckabee, or if you've never been in an airport with him, you don't realize how much his Fox career and his radio career have helped him. Right.
It was part of the reason why, he used to talk about the fact that when around in 2012, he was amazed at, going around to these airport, walking through an airport, people always come up. He was intoxicated, I think, by that.
Here's who's happiest he's running today is Jeb Bush. First of all, there's another guy who's going to get scrutiny. Plus, Huckabee, I think, rather than intimidating people out of the field, he amps up, I think, the contest in that lane. And the more there's battle amongst the social conservatives, the better it is for Jeb Bush.
Sure, and if you win the establishment bracket against Mike Huckabee, you feel pretty strong in some senses, just because Mike Huckabee is a very skilled retail politician. He's really skilled in free media, but he has so many problems with the conservative base and so much of the Republican establishment that does, in the end, pick these nominees on economic issues, taxing and spending, on crime and punishment, on some foreign policy issues. He has big problems with big chunks of the party.
If he's learned his lesson last time, people on the left laugh at this. A lot of people on the right do, as I said before. If he's learned his lessons from last time about how to defend his record in Arkansas and defend his controversial statements, I think he's one of the few people not in the establishment lane who could actually win an upset and become the nominee.
Wow. So you think you'd pick in Huckabee versus Bush, you're going with Huckabee?
I think Jeb Bush is very strong. I think it's possible, whereas I think Bush would likely beat most of the people in the anti-establishment lane. I think it's possible in the populist lane. I think it's possible he'd win. He is stronger than people realize.
But there are some big ifs there that you just said about what he needs to do.
Yeah.